back. Thank you very much for staying tuned to Pan-African Television. For the benefit of those who just tuned in, let me go over the topics again and introduce my panelists for today's conversation. Violence, insecurity spread in Ethiopia beyond Tigray region. New opinion poll reveals Akufo-Addo rating drops. The Insight newspaper. Election 2020 polls put Akufo-Addo in comfortable lead, but over 3% of voters are undecided. Akufo-Addo most corrupt leader, NDC asserts. Daily Analyst reported this one. Sorry, it's on the front page of Daily Analyst, but continues on page 3 of that particular newspaper. I've been joined in the studios by Faruddin Yakubu, who is a first-timer on my show and is a Deputy General Secretary of PNC. Good morning, my brother.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
Better.
Interesting. Yeah. Al-Haji Nazir Mohammed is also here seated. Good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning.
And how are you?
Terrific.
Fantastic.
No, you know what?
No, I'll say And, strangely, Sabo is one of the most popular people on this platform. Whenever I travel, when I meet people, say, and that MPP guy, what's his name? Was it Sambo? Sabo, do you know I'm very popular? Do you know that?
Yes.
Wherever I've been, when they are talking about people who appear on my platform, they mention Sabo. Why?
Yeah, maybe it's the way I carry myself.
The way litigant.
No, I don't think so.
There's a woman who came to visit her sister, just from across of Pan-African Television, and then I went to buy something and I met the woman. The woman said, how is Sabu? I said, hey, do you know Sabu? I said, I've been watching him on your show. I said, hey. Anyway, so Sabu, good morning.
Good morning.
And I trust you're doing well.
Splendid.
You are doing wonders for your brother in Tamale Central.
Oh yes, inshallah. Tamale Central, like I'm saying, people are not, many people are not much aware of the history behind Tamale Central. Tamale Central has the same characteristics like Otodo. It's a cosmopolitan community. It's in the center of the city. So people move in and out. So you cannot normally base on historical distance to be able to tell.
Gauge the
yes, exactly. Quite apart from that, I think the kind of wind that is blowing in Tamale Central today, in fact, there's nothing that you can hear than Dr. Ibrahim Anyas, because of his humbleness, because of the respect he has for the elders, and easy to go with the youth, and somebody who has already started doing a lot of projects when he's not even an MP. Today, as we speak, he has built schools in Tamale. He has built workshops in some basic schools.
I see.
In fact, so many things, wonderful things that he's doing. And now, I think he has a project about this kind of credit facility that is going to be given from his own funds. Over 1 million Ghana cedis that is going to be given to petty traders to help them boost their businesses and the rest. So
right, all right, good thinking there. All right.
It is not denying the fact that, as I speak to you, my candidate for Tamale Central, Honorable Murtala Mohammed, started even giving out these loan scheme. One unique thing about that of Murtala Mohammed is the fact that it is in consonance with the Islamic principles of not accepting no profit.
Look,
so it goes, you work with it.
What we do is that when you work with it and you raise some money, it is transferred to the next person.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
That's the unique thing about what Murtala
does. It's taking some interest. Dr. Elias is not taking anything.
That's settled.
Quite apart from that.
That's settled.
I wouldn't want to argue with this.
When you do your product
anything that you do that is good,
they replicate it.
And they are those who did it first. I'm even told that.
But if we've done it, why should we run away from it?
The first man to have killed a lion with his bare hand is President John Dramani Mahama.
Beyond killing the lion with his bare hand, is the first man to have looked at corruption head on, tackle it, investigated his people, and deal with them. That's another division. I mean,
why are you
first?
Don't put the cart before the horse.
No, I mean,
allow the wind.
Mama is first. In everything that you do.
allow the wind.
Indeed, he didn't also get third class in the university. That is what makes Muhammad different.
Naziru, allow the wind to determine the navigation. So don't put the cart before the horse. Let's wait. We will feast on this.
He's taking the wind out of my sail.
No problem. You would have an opportunity to feast on this subject matter of corruption. So let's kickstart the conversation from the African perspective. And what is happening in Ethiopia really is something that is very strange, particularly when the person who is superintending over this particular issue is one who was giving, absolutely. So I'm surprised that the same person will supervise or sit and watch this issue, spread in Ethiopia without doing anything to address it. Naziru.
You see, I've said a very big good morning to our cherished viewers. I have always maintained the problems on the continent requires that, collaborations to ensure that, like our forebears did, whatever the situation is, we cannot rule out the possibility of long hands also manipulating things in our respective countries in order to tilt issues to their advantage. You cannot run away from the fact that generally, as we speak, the developed countries have grown and developed so much so that industry is booming, eating what they can, canning what they can't, to sell for someone. And they will look for that opportunity in areas where the development is not at par with them. They will look for an opportunity to keep people at bay in order to ensure that poverty remain the same so that they continue to benefit from such people. So for me, it's a multifaceted, complex problem that requires an internal homegrown solution so that not only in Ethiopia, but in all the other African countries, we are not making Ethiopia, the only subject in this issue that is happening in Ethiopia. Because if you watch Eritrea and the surrounding countries, equally and rescue the situation in our respective country using the African High Command in order to distinguish ourselves and continue to compete in the little resources that the world has to offer for all of us. The situation in Ethiopia, for me, can be resolved and must be resolved. It is a duty for all African leaders to look at how, not only in Ethiopia, we can also be convinced and be more interested in the, forward looking of the African continent. Today, the Ethiopian leader has a lot to say. Today, the Ethiopian leader is seeing things differently from what he may be expecting. What can we say we can do collectively to ensure that we arrest the situation in Ethiopia so that it does not escalate to the fragile region? The entire region is very fragile, and losing Ethiopia in this fight at ensuring that we even have a free African continental free trade area and stuff like that will be very, very difficult, because Ethiopia is strategic. Its connection with Europe, its connection with the Arab world and the like should not be underestimated, so that whatever we want to do, I believe strongly, Ethiopia is in the center of it, owing to the history that Ethiopia itself has when you take its historical antecedents in the political climate, the progress that Ethiopia has made to safeguard the forward movement of the African continent. I think Ethiopia is important. Let's all put it on the radar and make sure we find a lasting solution to the problem in Ethiopia.
Thank you very much, Naziru Mohammed. You're still watching the News Preview segment on Pan-African Television with me, Kwame Owusu, Danso. Now, diplomatic affairs is back on your screens, and this time it's showing on your #1 station, Pan-African Television. After a long break, it's the season 2 of Diplomatic Affairs. Will be premiering tomorrow. on Pan-African television. So please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Diplomatic Affairs will be on tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. with Harriet Nati. And it's going to be very, very, very exciting to watch. Now, let me come to you, my brother, Faruddin Yakubu, who is the Deputy General Secretary of PNC. Let's hear from you.
First of all, let me say good morning to our lovely viewers and good morning to my brothers in the studio. I think this is my first time on your show. Kwame, issues regarding Ethiopia. It's not for only Ethiopians, and for that matter, African countries like peaceful nation like Ghana, we should not sit on the fence and watch. I heard there are so many issues in that country, and I also heard that they won some peace prize for their activities, the kind of peaceful nature they are. And when you listen to the issues on the grounds, they are not, exquisitely explained what is actually happening. Because you watch or you listen to the news and they are telling you that with the insecurity and violence in the country, they've blocked people's mobile phones. Phone calls are not going through, internet connectivity are also not going through. Then you ask a question: who is in charge of all of this? Which people are manipulating the phone calls and the internet connectivities and all of that? I think these are some of the areas they should start, checking, or they should start watching. That when they are able to know where those influences are coming, because Ethiopia is a country known for peace over the years, and I think for me this is the first time I hear Ethiopians have crisis in their country. And like my brother Alhaji Naziri said, where Ethiopia is situated is a vantage point. It connects some continents to Africa, and African leaders must not sit down and watch. We also heard that there are some few countries who have fled in Ethiopia, and the UN has also issued some statement that the situation on the grounds is going to escalate, which I think they shouldn't have said so. I believe that issues of conflict have been happening over the years, and there are so many ways peace negotiators have been using to solve those issues of violence in countries. And we believe that United Union as a very big organization shouldn't be putting fears in the people of Ethiopia that the situation is going to get more dicey or is going to get worse or deteriorate. I believe that their statement should have been that they are going to take control, take charge of what is actually happening in Ethiopia, and they are going to make sure peace is going to prevail in their country, and assure them that they are going to give them all the needed resources to fight the insecurities in their country.
Okay.
And I believe that the African countries who are sitting down and watching should also come in the scene and try to help salvage the situation in Ethiopia.
Thank you very, very much, my brother Faruddin Yakubu. And let me remind the viewers again that the WhatsApp number is 0260846539. And we're also streaming live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. So you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that we are airborne, and that this is where you get authentic, undiluted information. Sabu.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Let me take the opportunity to say good morning to our cherished viewers. Good morning to the good people of Dagbon. And good morning to my candidate, the incoming parliamentary member of parliament for Tamale Central, Dr. Ibrahim Anyas. Good morning to my brother Faruddin and my brother Nazir, and your good self and your crew. Kwame, not forgetting of the good people of the New York of Ghana, Owusu East, to be precise, Nima. The issue of Ethiopia, I think the last time it was Ethiopia, Eritrea that we discussed. And this time around too, it is Ethiopia battling with its own issues. And when I went through the stories more, like my brother Ferdin rightly said, they've not been able to give us the cause of the Ghanaian Times has not been able to come out with the cause of the problem, but it's already giving us the situational report in Ethiopia. And I
think it started with the attempt by the Tigrayans to conduct their own elections. And they were advised that because of COVID-19, they needed to stay it a little bit before going ahead. But they defied that. And
yes,
but it's not here. But
yes, exactly.
Because this is an issue that has been
because I've just read it
yeah.
this morning. I've not seen anything like that. But of course, we need not to underrate this one, because from the story, I think there are about 500,000 people
who are displaced now.
Yeah, who are living within the Tigrayan district.
Oh yes.
And 42,000 are displaced as we speak. So this is not a small number. Kwame, even if it is there 2 people, 3 people, if you among the 2 and the 3, then you know that it's not a situation that we should play with. Let alone to talk of 42,000 lives. And for all you know, this 42,000, there are entrepreneurs among them who are depended on by several thousands of people and the rest. So if such people are to be displaced, you can imagine what the rippling effect that will have within the Ethiopia itself and maybe beyond Ethiopia. Quite apart from that, Kwame, I think the last time I was also talking of the strategic and the sensitive position of Ethiopia. Of course, Ethiopia can also be used as a link between Africa and Asia. Quite apart from that too, if you look at Ethiopia, it is at the edge. That's at the Horn of Africa, at the sea basin. And for that matter, I mean, if conflict is within Ethiopia and then the international communities do not come in to help, it will be so easy for one side of the distance, depending on who is having access to the sea and the rest, to use it to actually get more, if I may put it, arms and ammunition from other countries, or even help, or even get mercenaries to come in through that particular place, and then maybe they may go beyond that after the conflict, like what happened in Libya. After the Libyan destiny, we saw what happened in Mali, and now I think it even trickled down to Burkina Faso, and then if care is not taken, and even I think before that, somewhere in Upper East or something, there were some few attacks. Do you remember in Ghana? Yes. So it almost even came down to Ghana here. So it is not a question of it is happening far away in Ethiopia, and for that matter, it is not a matter of concern to us. Quite apart from that, it is Africa, and we are on the same continent, and then of course we speak the same language, and we are seen beyond Ethiopia, Ghana, and whatever. Once we travel, we cross the shores of Africa, we are seen as one people. They don't know the difference among us. It is us who knows the difference. So I think it behooves on our leaders, and of course the regional, what do you call it, leadership. When I say the regional, I don't mean only the, what do you call it, Ethiopia is even found in North Africa. Is it part of East Africa?
Eastern
yes,
part of
it's in East Africa. So not only East African sub-region, but all the other sub-regions, including AU. I mean, to come in to see how best this issue can be tackled. Again, the people are moving into Sudan. And you know, Sudan, I have always said, Sudan itself, it's not all that
stable.
Yes, stable. They've not finished dealing with their own issues and the rest. So if these people continue to troop into Sudan, and care is not taken, and the situation is not handled well, it may also trigger some sort form of what they call it, a conflict in Sudan again.
Right.
So I strongly believe that African leaders, especially AU, can sit down with United Nations to see how best they can, quell this particular conflict, I think it will help all of us, especially when we are within electioneering period on the continent. People can easily use this one as a springboard to fuel some sort of violence in other parts of Africa.
Succinctly delivered. Thank you, Sabo. If you just joined us, you're watching the newspaper review segment on Pan-African Television with me, Kwame Owusu Danso. Let me remind you again that the WhatsApp number is active. It's 0260846539. And we're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. I want to encourage all of you to share with us what your thoughts are. I'll be glad to read them out for you. We're coming back to our dear nation, Ghana, because there are a plethora of issues that requires our immediate attention and contribution. And we're starting off with polling system, the polls. Oftentimes you find that whether civil society organizations or some media platforms or houses, sometimes they organize some of these polls to gauge the mood of the people, by way of identifying how the voting patterns would be like and whether or not, people are ready to even go into an election. And so they organize that over the period that the one person who has been described as, the Ghana's favorite pollster has been Ben Epson, who has been predicting over the period who is likely to win an election, etc. With the proliferation of media, you find that, and of course social media, you find that some other media houses have also done their own, polls to determine who will win an election, etc. So this year, you find that a lot more people have been engaged in the system of polls. We want to find out whether or not it plays a significant role in any elections at all, and what methodology, what is the hypothesis, was it, the mode, the medium, the modus operandi, the medium through which we sample the views of the people. Is it by surveys? Is it by, focus groups? What is it? What is it? What is it? Because largely people have described the polling system as using reality to distort reality. So we want to find out whether or not the realities that confront the people are what is being used to distort the reality as it exists on the ground. So I'm starting with Sabo on this subject matter.
Which one?
New opinion poll, it's a general conversation. New opinion poll reveals Akufo-Addo rating drops, the inside newspaper. We'll juxtapose this with polls put Akufo-Addo in comfortable lead, but over 3% of voters undecided. And also delve into the University of Ghana Political Science Department polls that seeks to suggest that Nana Addo Akufo-Addo will win this year's elections. Sabo, let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Kwame. Kwame, I have always said, when it comes to elections, not even only elections, even business and the rest, the only reason that Africa will seem to be far behind the rest of the continent is that we seem not to invest much in research work, and we seem not to take the work of research very serious. And for that matter, we always sit down to other nations or continents come out with a new idea, then we now try to come in to see how best we can bring innovative ideas around the main idea itself. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. But I believe if on our own, we also decide to invest in research and then try to come out with our own ideas and also try to work towards whatever we have conceived, I believe it will go a long way to help us progress in our daily activities. Having said that, I will never run down any research work in this country, knowing very well what research means in a country like ours. Quite apart from that, the only reason I will ascribe to a research being bogus or not being realistic will be maybe those who behind the research. and sometimes the methodology that they might have used to conduct that research. Of course, if the people have the history of conducting research in the past that has come to pass, or that has even come closer to what they predicted, then I believe we need not to downplay whatever they are saying, being it sweet or bitter. The best thing we can do, if it does not go in our favor, how best do we work? What are the dynamics that are involved? And how come we are at this position? Between now to the D-Day, what do we do to up our game? What do we do to change the outcome of the research? I think it's a wake-up call. It is something that both parties, especially all parties, but especially NPP, NDC, should have even paid those who came out with this particular research finding, because it's something we should have used our own money to do, to see how we are faring come this particular election. So me, I would take it very serious if they are saying that Nana has dropped. I would rather try to get the full report to see the reasons that has been ascribed to Nana dropping, and see as a political activist what can be done, and to make sure that we get back to our former position. With the Legon one too, as they've said, I think this is not the first time they have conducted a research of this nature. And then any time too they come out with a prediction, it comes to pass. I stand to be corrected, because you may not get the figures right as they normally put it, but whoever they put in the lead, in the long run, that is what happens. And this time round, if they are saying that the MPP, in fact, I should have already been bitter, because all my thinking has been the MPP should win this election by 57-58%. Not to be frank with you, yes, that is my conviction, that is my belief, that is my finding, and that is what I think should have been done. But having been somebody who believe, who actually work with research findings, I cannot dispute, because I did my lazy, computation of figures to come out with my 58, 57. But they have actually invested time, money, resources to come out with this. Quite apart from that, that is their field. And for that matter, who dare me to challenge whatever results that they bring out? I think I should rather try to get a full copy of the report, study it, and see what I can get out of it. And then, of course, going forward, I can improve and up my game come 7th December, so that I'll be in a better and a comfortable position to win the election. So if somebody tries to poo-poo this particular the person will be doing it at his own risk. There have been several research that we have discussed. That has not been in my party's favor, but I have never run down such research works. I have always said that it's a wake-up call. I'm glad that this thing has come at this time. Let's see how best. Kwame, me, as a teacher, or even when I was a student, in fact, in the North, I think I've told this several times, I was a team manager. The whole of Northern region, when schools and colleges come together, I was a regional team manager. But even those days, even when you score my team 4-3, and it is led with just 5 minutes to close, I still have the conviction that I can equalize all the goals. And in most cases, I do it. In most cases, I do it. It is your conviction that will normally make you do something. But if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have the confidence in the first place, then you've lost it all. So for me, in this particular election, I am more than confident that we are. In fact, if it was MPP that the research put at 40.7%, and then put NDC 51.7%, I think it was 40. I don't want to reduce your marks for you. 40. Add the other one, 40.something%, and then put NPP 51.
45.4, I think.
Oh, we're 45. We're from the 5. It was 40. You don't add any 5. And then and NPP 51.7%. In fact, I will have tried to see how best we can sit down with our research team, elections and research team, and see what has gone wrong. Where is it that we are not doing well? Which region is it that we are not doing well? I mean, what they call work of people, because they might have done. That's why I'm saying it will depend on the this and that they use. Whether they use professionals, whether they use ethnic groups, whether they use religious this thing. I mean, all these things are things that you have to look and see how what do you call it, authentic the research work is. So based on the what do you call it, the sample of the population that they have used, then we'll see how best we can also come in and then change the game. But if you go and sit down and say that, oh, don't mind them, I've seen comments on your this thing coming up that, oh, Nana went and paid them, Nana gave them money, Nana did that, Nana did that. Then if you are saying that, then Nana can equally give money to whoever is going to vote in favor of Nana. If Nana can pay people to do research in their favor and the rest, and it is money that will bring that results, then money can also be given to electorates to go and vote for Nana and the rest. So you don't do this. You just sit down and look at the work and also use scientific approach. That is why every party has research team. Every party has got election and research team that they sit down to see, work on their electoral fortunes and see where they can actually up their game and where they need to also improve upon whatever they are doing. So Kwame, I will never run down any form of research work in this country, provided it is coming from professionals, people in that field. Because we've all been to university and we've all had one way or the other tutorials on research, and we all know the kind of what do you call it, techniques or the kind of tools that are used to conduct a research. And we, in fact, research work most often out of 100%, most often than not, it will never go beyond, let's say, 50% not correct. It is always above 50% closer to the facts, provided they've used the right materials. That is why what do you call it, margin of error is always pegged around what do you call it, 5 and below, and the rest. Because any research work that margin of error goes beyond 5 and the rest, then of course that is where we'll begin to raise questions and the rest. But if the margin of error is beyond below 5 and the rest, definitely it is closer to the facts on the ground. So in a nutshell, not that today it is sweeter in my mouth that I'm saying this. If you go and roll back most of my submissions here, there have been research where that has not been in our favor. But I spoke the same way, that I will never run them down. I would rather take them serious and up my game. So if NDC decide to dance palungo with the research listen, I don't care.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel, for your submission on this matter. Brings us to another very important question before I go to Farideen. And Samuel, I want to stay with you for a little while. I want to indulge you. Do you think that these polls conducted by these institutions play significant roles in the determination of the outcome of an election, or rather convinces anybody to vote for a political party?
Yes, I think it plays a vital role in the outcome of every election. One, it plays on the psyche of the electorates. There are some people, they don't have any scientific backing on whatever the research is saying. They just look at what the research has come out with.
Absolutely.
One, they say NPP is in the lead. Then say, oh, then it's better I go and vote for the winning party. Yeah, I wouldn't want to waste my vote. So it's better I go and vote for NPP and the rest. So yes, that category of people are there. And then another class of people is those who understand the work of research.
Yeah.
Yes, these people also, it gives them an opportunity to either change what they are doing or continue to do what they are doing. So in the case of NDC, then it means that there's a need for them to change what they are doing. And then in the case of MPP, either to improve on what they are doing or to continue what they are doing.
So political parties do benefit from
it. The electorates also benefit from it. Because there are most floating voters. There are some, of course, they want to listen to your message. They don't care about your performance or whatever now, but what you are promising them in the future. That is what they want to listen.
Okay. So
others too, they don't care about the promises you are giving, but what you've done in the past. That is what they are going to base their votes on. And others too, they don't care about what you've done in the past. Neither they don't care about what you are promising them in the future. What you are doing currently is what they are going to base their votes. So I mean,
is there a possibility of people also contracting, independent posters to conduct polls for them? So, for instance, political parties can also contract people.
Oh no, yes.
Okay.
For instance, we know a well-known poster like Ben Epson. I know most often than not, political parties will go to him to conduct a particular distance for them, which is very good. He may conduct it, and it's not, though you paid him, but it's not in your favor. But that is the reality.
But would there also be instances where, when you pay somebody to conduct a poll for you, the outcomes may be in your favor because the pollster perhaps may want to impress you? Then would there be any? Do you think that something like that can also exist?
I think that one can only exist when you know very well that you are not sick, and then you are asking for a dosage of a drug, and you are also aware that that drug cannot cause harm to your body.
Yeah,
or
but
cannot give you any sickness.
Yeah, respectfully, but we all agreed on this platform that the polling system sometimes only aids you to appreciate or gauge the mood of the people. So, for instance, if you have introduced a policy, you want to gauge the mood of the people, whether the policy is working for them or not. And so you can contract somebody to engage the citizenry to find out whether you need to change something about it. So you pay for that,
Kwame,
like for that to be done for you.
Let me give you a simple example.
Yeah,
like in the case of Volta region, if MPP should go and pay any poster to conduct a research work and then come out and say that 50% of Voltarians this particular election will vote for MPP. Is MPP fooling itself or fooling the people of Volta?
But in 2016,
no. In 2016, I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
I am saying that if MPP should conduct somebody or contract a poster to conduct a research, and it should come out the research finding that Volta region, NPP is going to win 50% of the votes in Volta region in this particular election. And I'm asking a very simple question. In this particular regard, is NPP fooling itself or fooling the people of Volta?
In the same vein, if somebody were to conduct a research in Ashanti region, and it came out that the NPP is losing in the Ashanti region, right, this year?
Yes.
Losing as many seats as possible in the Ashanti region, would you say that that research conducted was wrong because you paid for it, or you think that you would actually have to look at it and see whether there's some element of
yes, you are not asking me the other way around, and I told you earlier on. Yeah. For me, I believe in research work. First,
we all do.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't want to speak for you. No, I can speak for myself. Exactly. Once that finding has come, first and foremost, who is behind? The first thing, before even you don't waste your time too much, who is behind the work? If it's a recognized researcher, then second, what are the methodologies being used? Then third, what population sample is being used? How are you getting me? Based on what premise is this research conducted? Then once you are able to get all these things, of course, you get to know whether this research is actually a good work.
I mean, in your preamble, you made the point that some of these polls, actually can sometimes shape the thinking of people.
Oh, so exactly.
And political parties get to benefit from
exactly.
that. So, in that vein, can one safely also assume that because I want to win an election and I want to change the psyche of the people, I can actually contract a creditable poster to conduct a certain poll that will swing in my favor, just to create the impression that I'm winning the election?
Maybe,
is that also possible?
Yeah, it can be possible. It can only be conducted an earlier research to know the quantum of floating voters, undecided voters, who are actually thinking in this particular direction. They are looking for the winning party to join. Then, of course, it is worth it to invest your money in this kind of research. Okay. Or even it's not a research, in this kind of, how should I report? How do I get in?
Well, I mean, it can come out as a poll, isn't it?
No, it can never. Because it is not factual. It is not scientific. We are only trying to play on the psyche. The earlier one is scientific. The one that you conducted
to
but
I'm saying that
total.
We are all in agreement here. I think you are distorting the facts, because we're all in agreement that in some instances, because you admitted here that you said that the polling system, in most cases, right, political parties get to benefit from them because it changes, or if you will, shapes the thinking part of the people, the psyche of the people.
Yes.
To vote a certain way by some people. I'm not saying all. By reason of, the percentage of that has been put out by the poster or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm saying that if we all admit that it plays some significant role in any election period. One political party, you know, who wants to win an election, gauging the mood of the people, can contract a pollster who is, you know, respected to conduct a survey, or yes, a survey that will inure to the benefit of that political party by making it look like they are winning an election, because then invariably they get to benefit from that particular poll.
And like I said, I think I've already answered it, but let me just put another one. Even the poster himself will be denting his image for future work on settings, because if you also actually connive with this politician to come out with this infactual what do you call it, post, and it happens not to turn out to be like that, because don't forget, you are not the only researcher. Of course, Legon one has just come, maybe before election, another.
But that's predicted wrongly in 2016.
No, you are not getting me.
No, I'm getting
what
you.
I'm trying to put is that Ben Epson, of course, Ben Epson not only to, I mean, there are several lessons that he has done, and it was
the recent
wrong.
one is 2016. I just want us to focus
Yes,
on that.
yes. I mean, there are many ones that he has done, but I never ran down Ben Epson's research work because I respect him, and I know in the past he has done it and it has come to pass. I get him, but I'm saying that even as a researcher, if you allow yourself for a politician to buy your conscience and they make you do something against your own ethics, in fact, it will come after you. Because in future, there may even be an international, multinational company that want to conduct a research on the market or survey on the market and the rest. But based on your track records, of course, they will never give you that contract. And the rest.
From what you say, do you think that there are
instance,
instances? From what you say, do you think that there are instances where the polls conducted are not scientific? People have actually engaged in, for instance, fake polling system. Do you think that, like,
there are many, even sometimes, not that it's not scientific, but the methodology used is wrong.
It's wrong, yeah.
For that particular poll that you have done. Yes. So
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said first, when you get such report, the first and foremost thing that you should do, who is behind, who are those behind them.
Do you think that sometimes also biases informs
yes,
the outcome?
that's one. Yeah, even the respondents, even the respondents,
and even the questionnaires.
Yes,
because if you ask leading questions, you can guess.
That is why there's always 5% margin of maximum 5% margin of error.
Absolutely.
So this thing takes these kind of biases,
absolutely,
and then to make the research authentic.
On the basis of this, I mean, would you agree with people who say that the person who is behind the University of Ghana survey, University of Ghana Political Science Department survey, people have stated that is MPP. Would you subscribe to the notion that perhaps his biases may have influenced the outcome of the?
If you say his, I will not agree with you, because I listened to an interview and I'm told about 5 of them are involved in this particular research, and it was also advertised at the department that there was going to be this kind of research. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Before it was conducted, so it wasn't one person who sat there and do that one. Quite apart from it, it was not a desktop. Neither was it a secondary report that he used. This is a primary. Listen, what it implies is that they went into the field and then they interviewed independent individuals, unknown individuals who submitted. Unless you tell me that after they had the respondents, then they themselves came to manipulate the whole thing. How do I get it? But it will be highly impossible for an academia like University of Ghana to stoop so low to this particular.
Is there also a possibility? I'm coming to after him. I'm coming to you, Nazir. But is there also the possibility that, for the purposes of gaining public confidence in this particular report, or in any report, or in any survey, somebody can also decide to act in ways that will appear to be organizing a general survey, but the intention really will be to go to specific places to conduct the research. And I'll explain this. I think
very clear.
Right.
I think in my submission I mentioned earlier on.
That
I said that
decide to go to
the population. No, that's it. That's what I'm saying. The population sample. The population sample sometimes can also make the research work not to be correct.
Absolutely.
For instance, you want to test the popularity of NDC and decide to go to Volta region to conduct the research there. definitely you get 100%.
I'm raising all of these questions
I'm
because
coming.
in the report of the University of Ghana, for instance, the University of Ghana report, they never stated, pardon?
Where they did the
Yeah,
research.
where they did the research. Yeah, and who did demographics. They never stated the methodology, the hypothesis,
let me tell you something.
the questionnaire, what questions they asked. Because there are different types of questions. If you want to come out with a certain expected outcome that we have set up by all, you must factor all of these
Kwame,
things.
let me give you an example. For instance, they might have not stated it, but of course, I think it should be part of the.
Absolutely, it should be part of it. Yeah.
But if you conduct a research in a cosmopolitan community, like you go to Makwala, there's no way you say that you were conducting it on a one-sided.
We are conjecturing because we are not sure they went.
No.
Maybe they went to.
You brought this, and I'm only giving you a scenario.
Okay.
I'm only trying to tell you that maybe they might have conducted it in these kind of areas. Like for instance, you are conducting a research in the north, and you go to a place like Tamale Central. There's no way you can say that it's one-sided this thing, because every inhabitant of Tamale, that is where he goes to during the day. And then later in the evening, they go back to their various places. Some even travel from villages to Tamale Central because that's the business hub of the place. So that place, you get all walks of people there. Like Circle, you go and conduct a research in Circle, trying to know certain dynamics within Greater Accra. You are likely to get it correct. You go and conduct a research at Makwala, trying to know certain dynamics within Greater Accra. You are likely to get it correct. But go and conduct a research at Nungua, especially the coastal area, trying to know the dynamics, you get it wrong. I don't get it.
So must key issues be also central to, for instance, the outcomes of or the questions that will be asked the interviewees, right? Must we factor into the couching of those questions issues that are prevailing at a particular point in time? So, for instance, we're looking at issues of, let's say, free senior high school, which is a policy that has been acceptable by all. Must we also, on the basis of that, add issues like corruption, for instance, to that? And then, so you open the questions that you're asking for everybody to, but if you narrow it, and for instance, look at policies that may be, that may influence the thinking patterns of the people, that will specifically address a particular, survey that you're conducting, you may not necessarily come out with the exactitude of the feelings of the people.
You brought another dimension of the whole thing. You see, in research questionnaire design, in fact, I'm not a researcher. Remember, I didn't even get A in research. So I'm only trying to do my best as I know. In research questionnaire design, sometimes you even try to establish biases first.
Yeah.
Try to see. The question will let you know that this person is even NDC. He is not just a voter.
Absolutely.
He's NDC. So whether NDC is doing bad or good, he will still go for NDC. This person is MPP. There's the way you design the question.
Yeah.
And you know that this person is NDC. He's an activist. This person is MPP. He's an activist. Are you getting me? So when you are coming out with your report, these things, or you have a way of sieving them, then you now, because maybe you are not looking at NDC supporters, you are not looking at NPP supporters, but you are looking for floating voters. This time around, where are they going? Because before you might have conducted this research, you already know the percentage of NPP supporters, NDC supporters. But you want to determine who will win this election, and you can only determine by getting the floating voters where they are tilting to.
But at least we are in agreement
yes.
on a few issues. That, the polling system sometimes shapes the thinking patterns of people to vote a certain way.
Exactly.
Political parties can contract posters who are credible to conduct some surveys that will benefit them.
And then they are not credible. If they can contract...
credibility in the eyes of the public. No, hold on. Credibility in the eyes of the public. Because somebody can be seen as very credible.
No, who are presumed to be credible.
Well,
but all this while they've not been credible.
Presumptions
One, they can stoop low. To this one, they are never credible.
Well, so that's why I would just want to interrogate all these issues. Because we don't know the methodology that was used by University of Ghana, for instance, to conduct this survey. So, somebody can also describe their polling system as fraud, for instance.
No, the person should also come with the facts.
Yeah. So
the person should come with the facts.
Yeah, but they should make it very easy for people to ascertain what they have put.
We have not seen the report.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like you said, population sample, etc. All those things are very, very crucial.
Exactly.
We need to know where the survey was conducted and the answers that were given by the people who were asked those questions. But let me come to you, Naziru. on this subject matter of the polling system. And we have decided to marry two very important topics. One captured on the front page of the Inside newspaper, the other captured by the Informer newspaper. Now, the Inside is saying that a new opinion poll reveals Akufo-Addo's rating has dropped. And the Informer newspaper is also saying that Akufo-Addo is in a comfortable lead, but over 3% of voters are undecided as to who to vote for. The general question that people have been asking is whether or not polls play significant roles in any elections at all, and whether or not people are convinced by the outcomes of any polling system to make them vote a certain way.
Well, you see, we need to be very objective and then see the position of the MPP prior to the announcement of this poll. I remember very well the National Democratic Congress has the tendency of asking the University of Ghana to we were questioning why the delay in the release of the University of Ghana polls, for instance. We've asked consistently. The answer we got from the researchers is the fact that the death of former President Rawlings, the resignation of Martin Amidu, sought to delay the outcome of the research they've done every year, to the extent that they are also checking if the resignation of Martin Amidu, for instance, as a result of corruption, the death of former President Rawlings, has a tendency of influencing the decisions of people towards the election. And for me, that is where the compromise of the University of Ghana research began. Because as Cabo indicated, we don't intend to poo-poo research work, but we must admit that as academics, we must also criticize and come to terms with any academic exercise. That's why we have even the peer review system in academics.
Peer review mechanism.
Yes, even in academics, in the faculties and stuff, so we have the peer review mechanism, and we do all this to ensure the quality of whatever we turn out as the outcome of our work. For me, having realized the substance of compromise has indicated by the researchers themselves, then tells me to deep or look further to find what exactly are the situations. Because if you tell me that when you have conducted a research between some time to some time and expected that the results will be out, and you say no, you are holding on the results to further check whether the death of former President Rawlings or the resignation of Martin Amidu may affect the people's opinion, then you are telling me that automatically you knew all the people you did the research with, and then you went back to them to ask them whether the information they have given you may be affected by the death of former President Rawlings or the resignation of Martin Amidu. Then if you know all the people, it ceases to be research. You are telling me automatically that you did something. And if it is not all the people you went back to, the explanation you gave me as the reason why the outcome of your research has delayed for this election tend to compromise you yourself, then it is an empty excuse. What tend to compromise it is that it has been very difficult and you are looking for a way out to save this government. Let's take the characteristics of the MPP itself today. I mean, one of the key communication directives of MPP has been derived from no less a person than Gabi Ochoedako. Consistently, when in opposition, now in government, he's been able to shape the communication lines of the New Patriotic Party. Then I asked myself, what has been his line of communication of late or recently? You would realize that if you're a friend of Gabi on Facebook, his direction is going towards encouraging the NPP to believe that they can win the election. They should be inspired and work hard to achieve that objective. It is doable, so they must do it. If that is his line of message, then he should tell you that he also has information on the ground that sought to suggest that even within the rank and file of the NPP, people are undecided, people are disillusioned, and for that matter, may not come out to vote. You would realize the NPP is pushing for people to come out and vote a lot. And this, for me, goes with the research done by the MSI ACI that the Inside newspaper has also published. Because you realize that in that research they conducted, they've come to the realization that they went further to indicate the sampling, what they did, to the extent that known NDC area, they did that to find the psyche of the MDC going into this election. They did also to independent people that do not really have political party. They did that to also MPP fanatics to find out their feeling and aspiration going into this election. And the MCI results sought to indicate that, see, within the MPP, what we have noticed by our research is that people are undecided. They are divided. Some would go anyway. Some are looking for an avenue to register a protest of a sort, which goes to confirm the direction that Gabi, the communication mouthpiece to a larger extent of the MPP government and party, has been taken for quite some time now. Then we come to the issue of the what do you call University of Ghana research once again, to say that, is it true that someone like Cerebro, Dr. Cerebro, for instance, was the head of that institute and have been conducting the elections, and today is an appointee of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government at the Electoral Commission? The same Dr. Cerebro is on record to be the only electoral commissioner that comes out to publicly campaign in support and position of his appointee. We saw it during the campaign or referendum, during the campaign to have a referendum on the...
No, say, quote, because you are putting a dent on him, that he campaigned for a party. What did he say?
He indicated that people should vote yes in the referendum. And that is the position of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that people should vote yes in the referendum.
Where did he say people should vote yes?
Where did he
say that?
But this is a common knowledge. If you want to ask all these questions, I'm coming. If Google Dr. Cerebro right now, then you give me the time to continue. I said, I'm giving you solution.
Go tell them where he said this.
But you are not a viewer, so you don't ask me a question. You are not a viewer. But I want.
Let's have some sanity on the show.
Let's have some sanity on the
show. The same voice not hear himself to ask you, so I need to represent his interest here.
Oh no, you can't.
Clearly his point.
Then there's no difference.
You mentioned.
No, but I didn't dent him.
No, but he's
making reference. I didn't dent him.
What did he?
But once he dent him, no, you are the
so make your point. Let me see whether you're denting his image or not. Make your point.
Clearly, Sabo wearing the MPP paraphernalia shirt, MPP position.
But
let him make his point. Respectfully, let him.
No, but I think you are not being.
No, make your point. Make your point. Make your point. Make your point.
You see, these are some of the things that me normally.
Sabo, let him make his point, because sometimes he may begin the analysis.
No, the person is a public officer. Let him he says something that if he does it, then it's against the office that is working.
Let him make his point.
And I'm not trying to also establish the facts, and you are saying I should keep quiet.
Let him make his point.
No, they mean that
Let him make his point. Make your point.
You know me. I will never do what he's doing.
Nazir, make your point. Make your point. What is the point?
Moving forward,
what's the point?
I think Sabo has, confirmed my doubt. I've mentioned a lot of people's names. Why he's bruised by the mention of Cerebral. I mean,
You
so it
mentioned
confirms
that-
my position that there is some linkage
didn't-
between Cerebral
But
and the
I've never
MPP
known-
and Nana Danko
People even said
Akufo-Addo. I mean,
that
I've mentioned a lot of
okay.
people.
It came out-
Why is he bruised
You are
with the mention of Cerebral, Dr.
Yes,
Cerebral? Why is he
I don't
bruised?
know him to be
You understand? I
You mentioned
critique
Gabi.
the entire
Okay, Gabi
issue
is
of
a
Gabi.
very
I've mentioned. Yes.
Gabi-
Why is he bruised
No, no, no,
with only Dr.
So-
Cerebral?
so- give him-
Why is he bruised?
But you people
It's a
say-
tell you,
No,
it's
no,
a
no.
message.
You
It's a
people
message
say that
of
they are the
Kwame.
wrong
I say it's a
They want him
message
to actually
to the viewers.
And say this is what
Sabo,
somebody is saying.
Sabo, don't
saying about
with the
him
greatest of respect
on your
to you,
platform.
with the greatest of respect
No,
to
no,
you.
no, 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 no,
Sabo,
Kwame.
with
No,
the
no,
greatest of
no,
respect to you.
No, Kwame,
There
Kwame,
have
you
been
know
instances
very
where
well.
you advance an argument that I don't necessarily agree with, but I allow you to make your point.
No, no, no. You don't necessarily
I will
agree
ask
with.
questions.
No, of course.
So let me
but
also
I am
ask
also
that.
within the rules. But of course,
So,
but most of the
but
things I
saying
say
that-
don't agree with them.
Yeah, but saying
Yes.
saying that somebody is NDC or MPP, I don't think is derogatory.
It's
Because-
derogatory
because everybody,
no, no.
we all belong to political parties.
If you go and sit on a particular this and say that Sabo is
So,
NDC,
make your-
don't you say it's a very big dent on my
I
image?
mean, clearly,
Yeah.
everybody. Yes, they say at the mention of at the mention of death, all dry bones gets jittery and worried. So I mean, clearly, Sabo has exhibited to confirm my
you can
belief
call me Cabo,
between
for you people
the
that-
relationship with Cerebral and them. But the point I'm trying to make is that Cerebral is on record to have, I mean, advocated, the only electoral commissioner since 1992, advocated for a campaign towards a decision making, and he's on the side of the president that appointed him.
Yeah.
Cerebral was the head of that institute.
Okay.
All the boys, the people working there today are working under his instruction. So we can not run away from the fact that
Okay.
that's research could be skewed. We ask ourselves also that moving forward, has such research failed in even bigger democracies, well-established institutions before? Yes, we can make mention of the research against President Trump when he was candidate Trump, where nobody gave him a chance of winning the election way back, and he won convincingly, which is something that we cannot run away from. And even if this research is something to go by, it can be repeated here. And indeed, Trump did raise such issues to the effect that, look, some of the media houses and some of the research institutions have been bought to shape public opinion against him, and that won't work because he knows what he's doing on the ground. He went ahead to win. The 4%, 3% undecided voters is a huge thing for every political party if we are even to concentrate on that. Indeed, the University of Ghana research indicated so. The research by MCI also indicated so that there is some percentage of people who are undecided. Then we begin to ask ourselves, why are they undecided? The undecided people are people who might have been disappointed, hugely disappointed by the faith, hope, and aspirations they had with the Nana Danko Akufo-Addo presidency that have found no light, and for that matter are so disappointed they are not even interested in the political activity. But research has also proven that most of the people who claim to be undecided end up voting on the voting day. I mean, that research is there. They end up voting on the voting day, and the fact that they would not, they have not decided to vote for one particular party at the time of the research does not mean they will not vote at all. They may vote, and for that matter, the efforts that you can put in place may attract those people. But one thing that is very clear is the fact that as I sit here and speak to you, my brother, I am as confident of NDC winning the election as I am confident my name is Alhaji Mohammed Naziru. That is the level of confidence I have about NDC winning the election. And what are the issues that will lead to the victory of the NDC as a political party? Because we have the track record. We have shown beyond every reasonable doubt and a research that is pointing to a president winning election convincingly should not have the president run away from debate on basic issues that affect our daily life. Should not see the president run away from the bread and butter issues that affects the ordinary Ghanaians, and then resort to only rhetoric in a campaign message. An election that you have confidence you are going to win is determined even by the preparations you put in place as a political party. With the NDC, I mean, nobody will tell you in this campaign that it is all rosy, where people are giving, huge sums of money to go and campaign and put in place strategies and mechanisms. A lot of people are sacrificing and are happy sacrificing for NDC and John Dramani Mahama to come back to power, because they believe that this is the only way we can improve on the living standards of our people, to see Ghana move forward and compete among the League of Nations. It is also very important we not lose sight of the fact that if the NPP themselves are confident in such research that are being churned out, they will not be moving around and dashing every market woman they meet on the street, provided she has a bowl, whether she has something to sell or not, will be giving some amount of money. No, they will not be doing that. They will not be moving around, giving, sums of money to teachers, for instance, when they are going for their salaries for getting to the end of the year, in the name of some bonuses. They will not be doing same to policemen and stuff like that. If you go anywhere in this country, any activity, any constituency, any branch or polling station, you will be told the efforts of the NPP at sharing large amount of money to people, hoping that the people may forget their, irresponsible inefficiencies, irresponsible corruption, irresponsible incompetence to, accept the money and vote for them. Just like my brother indicated, that there are various type of people. Those who will decide what I get today and will vote as based on what I'll get today.
Right.
Those some based on what has happened before, and some based on what you are promising to achieve.
Pardon.
So all this put together, I will be very confident to say that, look, if today we are talking about institutions that have been compromised, and no less a person than Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the champion, the so-called champion of democracy, is running away from debate of IEA, that we in the NDC have indicated long ago that the IEA is questionable, is compromised institution, and today in his favor. We are talking about.
I mean, where was she representing?
Sabo, you are surprising me. You know, I'm very good at this. Everybody knows this.
Around the phone, I can bring into the conversation.
So all in all, it goes to point to the fact that I am sitting here, telling you, based on practical experience that I have seen on the ground campaigning, that will come here in the next 2 weeks. You will ask both of us whether what we were saying we believe in. And I will be proud to prove to you and prove to the good people of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, inshallah, is winning this election convincingly. I am even ready on the table to say publicly, because of the confidence I have in John Dramani Mahama and the good people of Ghana at not entertaining thievery, corruption, nepotism, John Dramani Mahama will win the 2020 election, and if he doesn't win, I'm ready to resign from politics. This is what I'm telling you. I'm saying this on this.
John Dramani Mahama
doesn't win this election, I'm ready to resign from politics. That is how confident I am.
John Dramani Mahama is winning. Thank you very much. Farideen, let's hear from you. Prepare your notes.
Kwame. Issues of polls and all of that. I think, Kwame, I read from the Informer page 3 about the polls, and I realized that they brought some details about the polls. They are saying the sample size for the poll is 11,949 respondents nationwide, and in the polls they give the NDC the MPP rather 52.5%, and followed by the NDC 40.9%. And
who's by that?
Yes, that's the Informer.
Okay.
The GUM candidate Christian Kwabna Andrews 1.3%, and what is more important is that 3.7% Ghanaians have not decided. Kwame, this one is a fake poll. Yes, it's fake. It's just fake.
You mean it's fraud?
Why is it fake? PNC is not represented. CPP is not represented. The other political parties who are contesting, APC is not represented. The polls is fake. Equiadonko is not represented.
The independent candidates.
Independent is not represented. Was the GCPP not represented? So what kind of polls is that?
Oh, you've not finished. They are many.
They are 12 of them.
They are 12. You know, 12. But you are just mentioning
APC.
You are just mentioning 3 political parties and coming out with the figures to sum it all up.
Just like in ACP, but
APC.
by before the emergence of GUM, that political party, that's ACP Ayariga's party.
APC, it was
APC.
Very vociferous, very known, very popular.
So Kwame, what I'm saying is that this polls is fake. It's fake because they didn't represent over the years. They get majority of the votes. But
who says this year is going to be like
that? Is the question I ask all the time. Who says this year the end is going to be between
maybe it will be between CBP and PSC or CBP and GUM?
Certainly. So this poll is fake. So I agree. I heard one civil society organization,
ASEPA.
Yes, ASEPA, saying it's a fake post. I think we have to interrogate it. They didn't give us the areas where they
questions, the live questionnaire.
The questionnaires. We don't even know what is actually in the questionnaires, which are the very most important issues in a poll. We don't even know which areas they actually conducted this polls. And I think this polls was conducted in the Ashanti region and some few parts of Ghana. This very polls was conducted in Ashanti region.
Why not say Manshia?
They should come out and disprove it.
Yes.
No, just say Manshia.
No,
just say Manshia.
According to
according to that, let me make their point. Because he didn't see PS, that's why it's wild like that. Let him be wild. It's his party. Let him be wild.
You see, according to PNC polls, this post is wrong. Sabo, you sat here, you gave your MPP polls. Alhaji Nazir also gives him NDC polls. We PNC are telling you that this post is fake.
That's all.
Yes, the post is fake. We are winning this election. And I mean it. So this post is fake. They didn't bring the other political parties.
Tell Nazir to prepare this.
So this, I'm telling you for a fact. And the polls of Benefsin that brought those other, in elections over the years, we know the number of the sport ballots we normally get. They didn't even mention it. Sport ballot, last election we had over 1% sport ballot. Where is it in the polls? These are critical issues we need to interrogate. So I don't see the essence of this polls. And as to whether polls are relevant, you see, Kwame, if you look at the timing of this very poll, I think it's wrong, because there are so many emerging issues that are going to form the opinions of voters.
The people say corruption is not part of it.
Yes, I read somewhere.
That's what made me laugh.
How is corruption not part of the poll?
I remember their survey in 2016. Corruption was
not.
Corruption, indeed, corruption.
Corruption was, of course, yes.
But this one is
so this is actually fake and a big institution.
But you see,
a very big institution.
If you agree with me, the only way I will not fault them on the issue of corruption is that initially they were dealing with saints. So any small dent of corruption is questionable. Now they are dealing with the chief himself. So why worry with the corruption issue?
You see, Kwame, I'm still emphasizing the fact that this post that has come out is fake, because the critical issues we need to interrogate in this post, we can't find them. Where they actually held this poll, it wasn't indicated. The political parties involved, they didn't even bring them. We know there's a particular trend in elections every year that we have people who actually go and spoil the ballots. They didn't even indicate all those issues. And the timing of this polls actually is fake. And they didn't even tell us the issues they were actually, interviewing the people.
Well, I think they raised it. I've forgotten the issues, but they had issues. That's why I'm telling you that corruption did not form part of that.
Yes. Here they indicate.
Some of the issues were about the allowances, the nursing, teacher training allowances,
employment,
and all of that. So so those things were.
So even PNC, I just want him to finish. What I even say is not correct.
So go ahead.
But why?
The details of the report, PNC was
Sabo, when you were speaking, I didn't actually.
I'm
just.
What
I'm saying is that, first of all, this very poll, I totally disagree with the polls. And the second thing is, the timing of the polls itself, it doesn't speak well of the pollster and. What is major, my of Ghana to conduct this polls, and the issues they were supposed to interrogate in the shows doesn't represent what actually University of Ghana should use in their polls. So University of Ghana, I implore the leadership of University of Ghana. I ask them, the council of the University of Ghana should come out and speak against this post, because this post doesn't represent what actually University of Ghana can say of a poll.
You see, look, if you let me come in, I think within the University of Ghana, within the lecturers themselves, as a result of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's attempt to take the supremacy of the university and the authority of the university back to the presidency, back to the executive, there is a huge confusion within the intellectuals society in the various universities who are very angry by that decision. How do you come and tell me that this thing has no effect on the research that you have done? They should even look. You and I can walk to the University of Ghana. See all the lecturers, all the head of department, interview them, and you get results different from what the University of Ghana claim they have done for the good people of Ghana.
Kwame, basically what I'm saying is that I also agree that polls do form some, like Sabo earlier mentioned, that polls, they actually skew the attention of people to political parties who the pollsters have mentioned that they can win the elections. But this very poll is rather unfortunate. The institution they used doesn't represent what this polls actually can represent, and Ghanaians should reject this very poll.
Disregard the poll.
Yes, they should just disregard. And henceforth, we shouldn't be seen. The University of Ghana shouldn't be seen to do a very poor job in terms of polls, because it's an institution we all don't joke with, and we believe that they can do far better than what they have actually brought out for Ghanaians to see.
So you want to make a quick intervention?
Yes. Well, if he speaks, I would also speak, because he interjected me a lot.
You see, first, the death of President Jerry John Rawlings. I don't know why my brother was saying that if they decided to hold on, and then I see whether the death of President Jerry John Rawlings could affect the outcome of the post. And then he was saying that then it means that they know the respondent. It means that they follow them back again to ask of their view. That is totally wrong.
Why?
You don't worry, I'm shaving you. Don't be touching your head. One, this post was conducted based on the prevailing condition as at the time the post was conducted. Haven't getting me? Including the leaving of the former president.
Yeah.
And the former president has a large following.
Yeah.
And now he is diseased. And it has become, viewers should forgive me, his death has become a political chess that almost every party wants to benefit from it. Definitely, it has a telling effect on the 2020 elections. So it can change the dynamics based on the issues that are emanating from his death. So as scientific destiny, there's a need. All that they need to do is that they need to maybe just go back and then now interview people.
Which people?
I mean, the populace.
Which populace? You are giving me a research based on a questionnaire. You took data from me that you don't know. And you are telling me that because Rawlings is there, you want to know whether it will affect my decision.
You are not getting
I've given you. No. What am I not getting?
Okay, I'll come to you. I'll come to you.
What am I not getting?
I'll come to you. That's what I'll come to you.
Is this rocket science?
I'll come to you.
Is this rocket science that I'm
not
getting?
argument, and I'll come to you. Don't worry.
So now they will go back to the populace.
Which populace?
Ghanaians.
No, you already, by the time Rawlings died, you already have data and questionnaires ready to supply you some information. And you said the death of Rawlings may affect that information.
First, I told you I'm shaving you. If you don't take time, knife will cut you. Now you are running faster than your legs can carry you. You end up losing your teeth. You let me finish. You understand what I'm saying?
No, you see, in my attempt to lose my teeth for the truth, it's better than to have a teeth and continue to lie. that is
Sabo, make up.
Yes. So Kwame, basically what I'm saying is that
Sabo has not answered the question I have asked him.
No, let him make
he
it
asked
clear.
questions he needs to
let him make-
I said, how did you get
I know
the reflection?
I know what he
Rawlings
Nazir,
resignation?
yeah. So
How did he reflect?
Let him make his point. And then
He's not answered that. He should tell us.
He's my twin brother. I know him very well. I know the way he is. You see, the point is, now they will go back and just get a sample.
Different sample.
Yes, I'm coming. Oh, forget. you wait. You get me. You get me. And then try to find out their perception about the death of President Rawlings to the upcoming elections. And based on that, whatever percentage that they will get, then they will infuse it into the earlier one in order to come out with a particular outcome. Quite apart from that, the undecided respondent that he was talking about.
Sabo, is
that
this the
will
position
end up-
of the
that
investor
will
of
end
my
up
house? This
voting.
is your opinion.
Listen, what they normally do is that the undecided, in fact, when he came and then did the details because he read it here and was able to come out with the percentage. In fact, I wanted to respond with the percentage that there will be a particular percentage that they will have gotten of the undecided voters. So even if whether they come to vote or not will not change. Are you getting me? The resource,
Margins.
yes, because the margin is too small to change. So that is how they normally do
All
it.
right.
So that one, and fortunately, of
All
course,
right.
when it came
Okay,
3%, let me come. Well, I've
I
not
thought you
finished.
were-
No, I beg you. And then now, what do you call it? The what do you call it? The spoiled ballot. He was also mentioned of spoiled ballot. In this particular thing, I mean, how can you determine a spoiled ballot? Are you going to bring what do you call it? A prototype of the ballot paper and then give to the person and say he should show you how he's going to vote on the voting day for you to know that this person will have a spoiled ballot? This one, there's nothing like that in this particular research work. Nothing like that will come. There will not be anything like that at all.
But it's
And
prediction.
then let it come. That
just
corruption,
predictions.
that corruption is not part of this thing. I think corruption is there. What they said is that corruption is not going to play a significant role in this particular election. Why are they saying so? They are saying so because most of the things that the NDCs have been coming out to say is unsubstantiated. Ghanaians have not bought into it. Ghanaians have not seen it. Like the way we're seeing the Kanazoro Ford, Fili, that the way President Atamis himself commissioned a descent to investigate into how do you call it? The aircraft. What's the name? Is it umbrella?
which one?
The aircraft.
The Airbus.
Airbus. The Airbus descent that President John Dramani Mahama took. Is it 20 million or 5 million US Ghana bribe in it? That one, it was clear. The 51 million Ghana cedis paid to Wyoming that President Atamios was so furious about. I mean, all these were established gargantuan corruption that Ghanaians were aware with.
Let me read
But most of the things that you have mentioned against Nana Akufo-Addo, where is it?
I'll come to you. Let me read
So that is where corruption
Thank
this
you.
time is not played any significant role.
This one says,
election.
Sabo, I admire you too much. And he sends this one in from Equatorial Guinea. Please, Mr. Host, tell the NDC man to start writing his resignation notes today. Good morning, Champion KOD. Please help me ask Sabo why the NAPCO transition portal isn't opening. People get their different issues. So.
That
Good
is
morning,
a concern.
KOD. Please tell the NDC communication team that we, the grassroots, are charging them to, as a matter of urgency, organize a lecture to counter the deceitful lecture delivered by Dr. Baumia. Charles from Elmina sent in this one. I am not moved by the professional allowance that has been paid. This Ajapa people think they are wise. I will vote them out. Victor from Qatar. This is the only time I'm seeing a shameless government, MPP, after deceiving Ghanaians and having their way into governance, corruption, lying, borrowing excessively without having anything to show for. Family and friends government, to mention but a few. Think that the death of the NDC hero is a political point to you. The man's death has not got any negative effect on this election. Someone from Wa sent in this one. Shamsu from Ejura says, good morning to you, Kwame. Whether posts or not, politicians are not to be trusted because a politician can do whatever to have things done in their favor. Secondly, NAPCO trainees are facing full lies and deception from government towards absorbing all NAPCO trainees into permanent job. But the portal had been blocked by the same government. Evil people. When you mention NAPCO, you're not careful, someone will deal with you. Good morning to you. I'm watching you live from Adenta. Please tell the MPP man in your studio that they are nothing but liars. For education, Mr. Napo had deceived us 2019 teacher trainees who are currently doing our national service that will be posted on the 23rd of November 2020, but to no avail. But we will want to tell them without posting. I leave the rest to God for God to judge. I am a citizen, not a politician. Moses sent this one. Ampofoje Abednego from Insuta Jetiase. Please, MPP should forget about the poll. Mahama is winning this election by hook or by crook. KOD, good morning to you. I'm assuring Ghanaians that this year's election is going to swerve all the so-called polls that are coming up. Try as much as possible to note this message I'm sending to you today. Mark it in your studio wall and see what will happen. This year's election is going to be similar to that of 2008 election. Please mark my words properly. Thank you from Sam in Laboni here in Accra. Now let me remind you that right after the newspaper review segment, we're going to play to you the documentary that was put together in respect of the elections that were held in 2008. It's a very beautiful one. I think people have really fallen in love with it. People are watching what happened in the strong room, all of those things. Very, very interesting documentary. Somebody should watch it. It's nice. If you are defending, you're talking about DJs when you're talking about but you this guy, what's up? Good morning to good morning to you, KOD and the panelists. KOD, let's have know that Ghanaians do not vote based on research findings or predictions by certain institutions or individuals. Rather, vote based on track record. Where in this country, when certain individuals made predictions in favor of a particular political party, and the predictions tend to be incorrect, KOD. Benepsin's prediction victory for NDC in 2016 elections, but the NDC lost poto. So Sabo should not be inspired by this Benepsin's predictions and UG research findings. Abdul from Yendi sent in this one. NPP is doing better than NDC. Kojo Otre Pambolos sent in this one. Good morning to you, KOD. Please tell Alhaji Naziru that he should not worry at all. JM has already won, has been sworn in as president. God bless us all. You simply say, I like the beats on the rest of the hosts. Has he been installed as chief in Elmina? This is Kwesi. I am from Elmina, but I've not been installed as a chief in Elmina. And maybe you want to come and give me a chieftaincy title. Why not? I love it. Or Sabo, you...
No, that's it.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay. Good morning to Kwame. With or without polls, analyst prediction, NDC will surely win this election. Has Pfizer from Kaswa sent in this one. KOD, please tell Sabo this government bailout for the customers of Gold Coast Fund Management is a scam. They said we will be receiving text messages on our phones. When you receive this message, you can then go to the internet cafe with a pin texted to you before you know how much you'll be paid. They didn't use this method to bail out others. Why now? MPP must lose. From James. It is rather Dr. Bosman Asare, not Srebo, who advocated for a yes vote. Nana A. Amankwa in Cape Coast.
Yeah.
Now you see,
I was not.
you see what I was just saying.
Kwame, tell Sabo he will cry on Kevin. Kevin his masters. Tell him we will meet at the Banku spot today. Kwekwasari from Zuhum.
I don't even know.
Hey, Master, you should say you don't get some Banku spot.
But I mean, Banku
you should be inviting me to the Banku spot.
You know me very well. I don't even have a spot in Accra here.
Hey.
I don't live.
So you don't
I don't normally go to sports.
Maybe
at all. Tamale, I don't have a spot.
Banku.
Yeah, I eat
Good morning to you,
sakuga.
KOD. Good morning to you, Champion K. 5 paid political stomach lecturers going out to talk to a few hundreds of people and coming out with absolute gibberish, claiming it represents a position of over 70 million voters. Please, are you serious in this country at all? Rescue mission is on course. No room for Sakara research. J. Job in Taifa sent in this one. J. Job, thank you very much for your message this morning. Good morning, everyone. And everyone in Ghana knows that John Mahama laid a foundation for free senior high school. I need Dela. Hey, who is Dela? This one I think was for Justice's program yesterday. My name is Mohammed Akarawatu from Salaga. Keori, you have totally increased more sugar to your program today. And do you know who the sugar is? It's Alhaji Naziru of the NDC. Apart from Alhaji Ebi Hussein and Kwame Benamona, Alhaji Naziru is the perfect match for Sabu. I bet you this is more meat in the soup. NDC all the way. Some will be like, people now know say you be mafia. Mufti from Kumasi says, good morning to you, Kwame. T3 also conducted elections on their page. TV3, you mean? John Mahama won. Professor Lumumba said, if one is lying, he will keep stammering. The country is bleeding, you say. These polls reminds me of 2008 election when everything tilted in favor of the MPP but ended in tears. The real polls will settle everything in December on the 7th. Kobe from Konongo. The future of this country is not in my... The future of this country is not in... Michael Buffer from Wuli Afegame. If you can send it again, I beg you, I really beg you, send it again. This is Badio from Kintampo. I love your show. Badio, I love you too. Boss, in Ghana, I can only consider a poll credible if there's enough evidence to suggest that such a poll was conducted among the bracket of floating voters. Anything short of that cannot be true representation of the reality. Ghana is still on the path of partisanship, regrettably. And I cannot, for instance, see how General Mosquito and the likes would vote for MPP because their wards have benefited from free SHS. That is a hard fact, as hardcore MPP supporters will still vote for the MPP irrespective of the smelling corruption of a Japan and the likes. The floating voters are the real deal, and the real pool will be in 10 days. Shalom. Dennis Y. Akwete sent in this message. Good morning to you, Kwame. This is Awubigu watching you live from Northeast region. Please tell the MPP man that we, the newly trained teachers, are waiting for our posting. So they should post us and stop talking plenty. Though from Atimpoku, Ghanaians are not enough deck for NDC to go and correct their mistakes and come back for them to win. God forbid, NDC is going to lose big time. The NDC men, they are dreaming. Good morning to you, Kwame. I will be disappointed in Ghanaian voters if they fall prey to the limitations of the UG research conducted on who wins the 2020 general elections. The limitations of the research are so salient and can trivialize the whole research done. It's better they review their research and encompass the delimitations. From Kamil Abubakar from Tafo in Kumasi.
What does it mean by limitation?
This one says, good morning to you, KOD. And if you don't stop calling the WhatsApp number, I cannot read the messages. Good morning to you, KOD. MPP is losing this election. My number is so I need yours. The matter, it makes you
Maybe we want to tell you how the registry will come.
KOD, if you want to see Ghana money being displayed for votes buying, come to Hohoi constituency. From cars, motorcycles, bicycles, coal-pots, soaps, etc. But I thought in 2008 somebody says there were no human beings in Hohoi. So are they giving the money to the trees?
But I'm sorry. That's the main reason why I say you are going to air something. But you are even getting it out of context. What is said there is not what you are.
We won't accept the voter results. We won't accept the voter results. I know. I've been to Hawaii. There are no human beings there.
Today, even motorbikes are being shared there.
You realize that you are losing your popularity in Hawaii. You decided to go and then. Of course.
Me.
Oh yes. I don't organize that.
I think you must let me come in.
Oh, Allah.
You must let me come in.
You are the organizer of this.
No, somebody, I
you don't know what is happening.
I know what is happening. He's a journalist.
Come on, do you know what that is? Come on the phone.
Yeah.
He said, we won't accept the voter results.
When you were bringing,
We will not accept the voter
when you were
results.
bringing a number like
I know, right? I've been there before. They are not even being there.
And you think that same Kodaji Paul will end up even voting another for what he has experienced, all this struggle.
What do you
ended up in vain for you? Do you think he himself will vote?
president from region?
Oh, so you like him? Where's Afoko, your brother? Where's Afoko, your brother?
My boss.
Are you not worried about that?
No, he's.
Are you not worried about that? Where's Afoko, your brother?
He's
there.
With where? Moving there. Are you not worried about that?
Paul Afoko is still a proud member of the Free Patriotic Party.
Everything that
Let Sabo know that we are watching you.
My
You
brother,
are
forget
not.
it.
Please, with his. Okay, no. Sabo is a very gentleman. Please, I mean.
He's insulting me.
No insult. He said you should. I should control you small. Oh, but Sabo is a very gentleman. Jones from Brekum. Nobody can insult you on the show.
Oh, who told you? Come and see here.
Okay, where is that Facebook?
Oh, yes.
I'll read this one.
Let me see.
I'll read this. Please, I believe the panel member is talking about Dr. Bossman and not Srebo.
Go through the comments.
Good morning to KOD. It's not Srebo, but Dr. Bossman, who said the NDC is a threat to Ghana democracy. Good morning to you all. Why is it that the MPP man Sabo is not allowing the NDC man Azeri to talk? JDM all the way. Number 2, you say. Charlie, the message is plenty, but my time is up.
But you have to.
No. I won't listen to you. No. I deliberately decided to give the last shot to Sabo. You people can go and bend the sea.
But there's an interesting.
Okay, let me read this one.
Yeah.
Good morning to KOD. The $150 charge at KIA alone tells how Akufo-Addo is heartless and corrupt. Ghanaians must vote MPP out. You say. Please, this is Moses once again. As the MPP communicator, if they know they've done well for the people of Ghana, then why are they sharing money and items in exchange for vote? Where is it? Good morning to you. I'm Sani, watching you live from Asante Achim Central Konongo. The MPP man is telling lies. NDC all the way. Hey, and then the NDC for my word power. Good morning to you and your panelists. As listeners and contributors to your program, we have the largest stake to pontificate whose submissions on issues being discussed educate us or not. In fact, my friend Sabo most of the times make very excellent. However, his way of interjecting other submissions disrupt the smooth flow of your say. He is good and will be more better if he takes my little advice. Kwame, most of the independent polls conducted in this country, many at times are untrue. In fact, my personal checks are true polls 35%, untrue 65%. Kwame, will you sit there and accept my findings? This also relates to the questions posed to Sabo on conducting polls. Food for thought. Kwame from Tabora sent in this one.
Yeah.
Zach from Ejura says, good morning to you, host. The December election is between corrupt Akufo-Addo and corrupt Mahama. Who is better, who is worst in terms of corruption? But it is regrettable that Ghanaians are going to waste their time and choose one of the corrupt personalities to become the president of our dear nation. To become the president, our leaders are corrupt, devils,
corruption,
and selfish politicians. It's a pity for Mother Ghana. You didn't send in this one. Unfortunately, you cannot say that you won't go and vote because other people go and vote and make a decision for you. PNC.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Prince Wumbe from Old Fadama in Accra. Please tell Sabo to stop lying to Ghanaians. NDC is the best party. So when you say lying, what are you saying? Like, you know. This one says, hello, good morning to you. I'm Omboribe Felix from Northern Region. Particularly Makayili Township. Shout out to all Makayili. Shout out to all 2019 JHS candidates, especially Our Lady of Peace Junior High School in Bimbala Municipal. On African TV, you are simply the best. Good morning to you. I love your panelists today. You simply sent that message. They love you right back, I presume. Good morning to you, Kwame. Thanks very much for your wonderful and lovely show. I'm really enjoying it all the way from Lassier. But find out from Sabo when they are making us NAPCO trainees permanent. But we are winning anyway. But they are winning anyway, he said. So you guys are winning. Sure. Good morning. Teachers are going to show you people. KO Good morning to Kerry. This prediction always make you relax your mind, but just like Ben Epson's predictions for GM in 2016, but did he win? No, right? Please, I don't believe in these posters. All I know is JM has already won this 2020 general elections. Roxanne from Pig Farm here in Accra sent in this one. Good morning to KOD. I am palm trees from the Ashanti region. We the Ashanti on I'm not going to read this message. Good morning to you. I love your program. I salute you from Shahab Dean from Offenso in Accra. Good morning, KOE. I have never seen vote buying like this year before. MPP think Ghanaians are fools. JM all the way. Saka inside Wale Wale Municipal Hospital. Good morning. I'm NBC, but I love Sabo. Wow. She said thank you at least.
Oh, but those who insulted me, did I say
so? Nobody has insulted you. Oh. The messages that I've read here, nobody I think
he said he loves me, and I also take it in good faith.
Good morning to Kwame. Do you know that this research was done without taking into account corruption? My goodness, even the one alleged to have signed the report also denied undertaking any such research. Johnny Adenta Ashiye sent in this message. The NDC can decide to disrespect or disregard the University of Ghana post, but this year's election, a lot of modalities would inform the decision making of the impending elections. The elections would be based on the performance of each candidate when they were given the mandate to both govern. Nanado and John Mahama. Ghanaians will vote. Oh, please stop calling the WhatsApp number. Ghanaians will vote based on the promises made and promises delivered by the two main candidates. Ghanaians will vote based on consistencies and contradictions of the two main parties. Stop calling the WhatsApp number. And Ghanaians will vote based on competency and visionary leadership of both Mahama and Nanado. In the above mentioned criteria, Nanado tops all. Four more for Nana, and four more to do more. Abdul Rahman Bako in Old Barrier.
4 more to do more of the corruption. More of
Good morning to you, Kwame. So this government didn't pay us our arrears. You let me clean my voter ID card and put it back. This one says, Sabo, I will never insult you, but you are in the wrong party, Sabo. Good morning to you. The people of Saboba are going to vote whether the road from Saboba to Yendi has been constructed or not. A survey by UG. So that's also a survey by University of Ghana. Please let Sabo respond to the narco issues. I beg you, please. I'm Francis from Saki Intema. Ask Sabo. The year of road. Why is the road? Where are the roads? Ghanaians will vote based on what is going on in your area, and so Nana should be careful so that he should not collapse on the 7th of December. Charlie, you want Nana to collapse? He won't collapse. Nana's a strong man. Haven't you seen him? Good morning to you, champion. Good morning to your brilliant panelists. Please, my brother, read this message for me. Ashaman is bleeding. The Ashaman Jericho Road is killing us. We beg, please echo this message to the MPP. David Nati from Ashaman sent in this one. That brings me to the end of the show. Thank you, Nazir.
Well, that's highly unfair on your part.
Yes,
because you agree when Cabo was interjecting me that you will give me some.
Call me Cabo. I want to be unfair to
you want to be unfair to me.
To you today.
I refuse to be cheated.
You refuse to be today.
Yes. What the point I want to make is this: that Sabo attempted explaining something that baffles my mind. And the viewers are watching us. You came to me for information and data on my opinion on particular issue or subject, and you found out that something has happened that has the tendency of affecting my opinion on that same particular subject. If you come back to me to ask me how that changes would affect my
Nobody's
opinion.
coming back to you. That's where you have narrowed your distance to they will go back to the same person. Nobody's coming back to you.
So the data you gave me, whose data is it? The outcome of where you are telling me 47
is Ghanaians. That's the part of the Ghanaians.
Which Ghanaians?
Nazir, thank you.
Let's see that
PSC is winning, eh?
Yes, PSC is winning.
Okay. Who's the I see my game. See how
but in this election, we have three. We have three people who have actually been in parliament before.
Okay.
Three people contesting this election who have actually been in parliament. Yes, Apasara has been in parliament. Nanado has been in parliament. John Mahama have also been in parliament. And these three people are the key people to expect in this election.
If you beat, let's sign an agreement. Hold on. Let's sign an agreement.
Okay.
If you are able to beat Goom in this election, I'll resign from my seat.
Goom is not a match.
That is how confident you are.
No.
That's how confident you are.
If you doesn't have strong votes, listen to me. Oh, I said if PNC gets more votes than Goom,
that is why
I will stop strong votes.
Goom has no. They don't have any strong goals. PNC has strong goals.
Yes, Bernard Mona may win. Listen, Bernard Mona,
he's winning.
May win his seat.
Bernard Mona is winning his seat.
Oh, listen, why you listen? Bernard Mona, he will win his seat. But the point is that if you in the presidential elections, if you get more than Osofu Chinabosom, me, I will stop watching this morning show.
But have you come to think of it as a result of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's refusal to come on a debate for Ghanaians to see what he has and what he has
I think
done?
it's necessary.
We are also losing a critical aspect of what the debates normally turn out to give. That is the commitment by the political players, especially the leaders of MPP, NDC, to commit themselves to the outcome of the election. So I am using this opportunity, this forum, to immediately call upon his Majesty attended such sometime back, and I hope and pray Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will be called to sign a bond to come and accept the result of this election. So let us do that. Let us do that. If he won't accept the bond, we must write a bond to
hold on respectfully. John Cole, ex-Associate President, University of Education, Winneba Mampong, says, good morning. What is worth education apart from the word of God? Even the word of God today is not for free, but Nana Addo and the MPP have made it happen. Some of us, knowing where we are coming from, we must pay key attention to this government and vote number